Hello, welcome to this Yin to Vin or Yin to Vinyasa yoga class. And so today we're going to be starting out with a little bit of centering. We'll go into a little bit of some yin poses for a couple minutes, and then we will make our way to a little bit more of a flowy practice and come back down for Shavasana after that. So prop wise, all you need is maybe one block. Now I've got a block set up on each side. That's just for me, but you can totally have one or two at the top of your mat. I've got a bolster cushion here for some side bending that we're going to do for the yin poses. So if you don't have a sturdy cushion or pillow, you can even stack a couple pillows depending. You can also stack some folded blankets on top of each other. If you've got more than one block, you can put your blocks side by side and put blankets on top of there so it's softer when we get there for that one as well. So there's different ways that you can make do. And of course, I'm sitting on a blanket. I'm going to use this for Shavasana. I'm also going to use this for a little bit of knee cushion when we come into a puppy pose here in a short bit. So that being said, good. You can have your water close to you and find a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. And once you have found your seat, could you envision a nice tall spine? So growing tall from the tail all the way up to the crown, ears, shoulders, and hips in a relative alignment. And could you zip up and in that center line of engagement? So kind of that when you're zipping a tight pair of jeans, you gotta kind of draw it up and in sometimes if they're really tight. So that same kind of sensation here. And then as you're here, notice anywhere in the body that you could soften just a little bit more. So could that be a little softening through the hips, the shoulders, the jaw? And then noticing the breath. Can you find an expansion of that rib cage on your inhale? And a slow exhale. And a nice big inhale. And slow exhale out. One more time. Nice and slow. Inhale. Hold at the top of that breath. And slowly exhale it out. Good. Taking fingers to the side, palms turning out. We'll lift the arms up, touching palms together. Exhale, bringing the hands into heart center. Creating an intention for your practice. What would you like to give or receive from this practice? And this can be anything. Something that I posted on my social media page today is the first day of the rest of your life. It's a new day. It's the first day of the rest of your life. Live it well. Maybe that could be your intention. How are you living it well? And we'll take our arms up and reach. We'll get a nice side bend towards the left, keeping hips grounded, reaching nice and long, nice long arm here, shoulders and hips in alignment. A longer arm gets you a little bit deeper connection through the side body versus if you just kind of let it hang here. So really reach. And then we'll move through center and we'll take that the other side. Reaching. And coming back center, both arms up, gentle rotation. Let's start to the right side this time. Arms are going to come down, rolling shoulders back, looking a little bit more behind you. Inhale, we'll lift. Exhale, center, and we'll rotate to the left. Arms come down, rolling shoulders back. Again, looking a little bit more behind you. And then from here, we'll lift up and come back to center. So take any little movement here that would feel good to you. Maybe that's a little bit of a wrist roll, maybe some neck rolls, maybe some shoulder rolls. Find what you need. And then once you're ready, we're going to come onto all fours. We're going to go into some cat cows here pretty quick. So you can always cushion those knees as needed. And actually, you know what? Since I know where we're going from here, I'm just going to go ahead and prep my blanket, knowing that we're going to come to puppy pose. I'm just going to take this out. Okay. So from here, coming to all fours from the cat cow, knees can be under the hips. They can be slightly wider if you've got a cranky low back. And shoulders are going to be over or slightly behind the wrist. Pressing up and in. This can also be done on forearms, on the floor, or on the block. Inhale, tilting the pelvis back, chest comes forward, nice cow pose. Exhaling around, tucking the tail, looking towards the thighs, mad cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Good. From here, we'll take a really short child's pose. Knees can be together as wide as the mat or somewhere in between. Arms can come long in front of you or hands back by the hips. You choose where you need to be. Let it be nice and active, zipping up from the pubic bone behind the navel, belly button into the spine. Breathe and expand, reconnect, recenter. And then once you're ready, hands under the shoulders, and we'll come back up and setting up for puppy. So I'm going to show you different kinds of puppy here. This is a deep extension, so be mindful of that. It is not a child's pose. So some people are going to take their puppy, forearms on blocks or the floor, hips stay over the knees here, and then you're going to come into a cow pose. So your chest is going to come forward, pelvis is going to tilt back, and maybe this is your puppy. Okay. Some of you are going to take a block or a folded blanket or a pillow right under the chest for support. You're going to come into it the same way. And then maybe that's your puppy. Okay. Some of us don't need any props because we can take the chest all the way to the floor. And maybe that is our puppy. So be mindful of your body's needs. And we're going to be here for 2 minutes, 2 minutes. If you need to come out before 2 minutes is up, then listen to yourself. So I'm going to start coming here. My hips are over my knees. I'm going to walk this out. My chest is to the floor. You can take your chin to the floor here. If you've got a neck, if you take the forehead to the floor, we'll be here for 2 minutes. Breathing. And coming back to intention. Today is the first day of your life, the rest of your life. It's a new day. How are you living it well? You're going to find expansion in the rib cage. Yin is an active practice, but where could you soften? Where, if anywhere, do you need to back off? Big breath. There we go. Big breath. Good. If you took the chin down, take it to the forehead, hands under the shoulders. Good. Press back up and get a nice round. Good. And then from here, we're going to counter that a little bit deeper with a forward fold. In yin, we call it caterpillar. So you can do this one a couple different ways. You can make it a little bit more restorative by taking a bolster, a stack of blankets, pillows, what have you, resting it right on your leg, and then you can just fold forward here. Okay. If you're newer to yoga, newer to yin, I'm going to recommend that this is the one that you take. If you have a more active practice and you know when you do a forward fold that your hands touch your feet or maybe go beyond, you're welcome to do that one here. You can even bring in a block for this as well. So, and that's the one that I'm going to do. So we're going to do this together. Get whatever props you're going to use, set up. Good. Big inhale. Exhale, fold over the bolster or lean forward and then take your fold. You can also do this with a flat back here if that's what you need. With the knees micro bend a little bit, you can put something under there for support always. Good, and breathe into that back body. Coming back to your intention. How are you living this new day, this first day of the rest of your life well? How can you make changes to live it well? Breathe into the back body, expand the rib cage. Come out early if you need to. And carefully, based on where you went with that, carefully come out of there back to a 12 seat. Let's counter that with a gentle rotation on one side and a gentle rotation to the other side. And now from here, we're going to reset for some unilateral work, which just means working one side at a time. I'm just going to leave this blanket right where it is. I'm going to take my bolster here. And what I'm going to do, and those of you that have longer torsos, if you're using a bolster cushion, you can certainly put a folded blanket or two on top just so you get into the side body just a little bit more. But I'm going to come all the way up to the side. I'm going to take this down. Good. And then I'm going to come over. So knees can be bent. They can be long. Just kind of do what feels good to you. Let's try this one. And notice here that you might feel the need to cough. So this gets into the heart chakra. That's just your body letting go of something that's no longer serving it. Let yourself cough. I will probably do that on this side, if not definitely the other side. Breathe and expand. See, there it was. And just let it come out. Coming back to the intention and living it well, what do you need to go of? What do you need to let go of? Notice what you feel where you feel it the longer you're here. If you feel yourself reaching a little bit more with the upper body and maybe a little bit more with the lower body, and then from here, good. I'm just going to take that top arm to my bolster and carefully come up from there. You never want to snap out of any kind of yin or restorative pose. And I'm just going to take this to the other side. Good. Before I do that, I'm just going to side by side. Hopefully nobody heard that pop. And then once you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. So last yin pose here before we start to flow. So make sure that whatever props you're using, they're close to you, you're close to it. And we'll take that over. Knees can be bent, legs can be long. They're good. And find wherever it is you need to be. To the other side. I mentioned, what do we need to let go of? What do you just need to say no to? What do you need to say no to? It can be somewhat fairly as simple as saying, I'm not going to go out tonight. I'm going to stay in and I'm going to rest. Nothing wrong with that. And see if you can reach and lengthen a little bit more with the upper body or lower body. Maybe, maybe not. Breath, almost there. And from here, very gently, carefully come up. Good. And then just take a moment. Again, if you need to kind of take the neck around a little bit, take the time to do that. If you need to just be here for a little bit, feel free to hit pause and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and start to clear my space, preparing for flow. So I'm going to put the bolster out of the way and refolding my blanket. And then I'm going to place it out of the way as well. So from here, we're going to come right into a downward facing dog, So from all fours, good. Taller people take a half a hand's width or full hand's width forward. Shorter people can stay. I'm spreading the fingers wide. I'm rooting through the knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. I've tucked my toes. As I shift back a little bit, I'm going to press in and forward into my mat as I lift my knees and hips towards the ceiling. Now from here, check in for a moment. Pressing evenly into big toe and pinky toe mounds. You're still pressing in and forward into the mat. Shoulders are away from the ears. I'm turning the elbows more towards the pointer and the middle finger. Head and neck is free. You can hang out. You can lift and lower the heels. You can bend and stretch the knees. The lower you take the knees, the harder you'll make it. You can walk the dog, bending one knee and then the other. Stillness is always an option. And then from here, we'll take stillness if you took movement. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Walk or step your feet forward to meet your hands. If you cannot comfortably touch the floor, bring your block in here. Remember, your block is 3 different heights, or can be. Find what works. I'm just going to let my knees bend here. Shake my head yes, and shake my head no. Pressing through the feet and the legs. They take the load. Lift and lengthen halfway. Hands to floor, block, shins or thighs. Nice long back. Knees can bend as needed. Exhale, we'll bend the knees and we'll come down. Pressing into the feet and the legs. Legs take the load as we rise up. Nice long back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding breath, mountain, and then intention. Half sun salute. Big inhale and we'll reach. Exhale, we'll bend the knees and we'll lower. Inhale, press and lift and lengthen. Exhale, we'll bend the knees and we'll bow. Pressing through the feet and the legs, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take this into 2 sun salute A. You choose once we step back into plank to take or skip a flow. Big inhale and we'll reach. Exhale and we'll fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, we'll bow. Planting the hands, step or hop back to plank. You choose, take or skip a flow. Finding breath. Reconnecting with intention. From downward facing dog, inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and we'll bow. Pressing through the feet and the legs, we'll come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll go into number 2. Inhale. Exhale. We'll fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and we'll bow. Planting the hands. Step or hop back to plank. You choose. Take or skip a flow. Get there the way you need to get there. I've done 2 different versions of this now. Okay. Take a moment in your down dog and reconnect with that breath. Reconnect with your intention. Once ready, right leg's going to lift 3-point, bending that knee. Shift forward as you step or pick up and put the right foot forward between the hands. Good. Now, I'm going to make sure that my block is handy here on the outside of that right foot. Good. I'm going to warrior press my back leg here. So I'm turning from the hip and then pressing into the heels. I'm going to rise. Good. So from here, front hip will come back hip will come forward and reach. Front knee tracks towards pinky toe here. Warrior 2. Zip up still that front body. We'll take that back. We'll take it into exalted and reach. Inhale, exhale, finding warrior 2. Coming into an extended side angle here. Lengthen through the back. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. I'm going to take my hand to high block here on the outside of that foot. And then I'm going to allow that stability to allow me to open that chest more to the side. And maybe taking my arm over. And because I've got that block, maybe I can even walk my front foot a little bit more forward, getting a little bit more in there, knee over the ankle. Good. Now that won't work for everybody, but if you're ready for it, use that high block. There's nothing wrong with it. Looking down to the front foot, I'm just going to lengthen that front leg. Front hip is back. Good. Now I'm in my triangle pose. Opening up. Hand is over the shoulder, not behind the shoulder. Good. Now you can play with letting go of that block if you're ready for it. Looking down at the front foot, putting a bend in that front knee. Good. Both hands are going to come down, swivel up the back foot. Front foot steps back. You choose. Take or skip a flow. You always do a little flow on your knees as well. Good. Now, from your down dog, I'm just going to switch sides here just so that my back is up to you. Good. From your down dog, when you're ready, left leg is going to lift now. Bending that knee, shifting forward, stepping or picking up and putting the right foot forward between the hands while you're here. Make sure that high block is on the outside of that foot. Good. From that right hip, we'll turn it out, finding a warrior stance. Pressing through the heels, we'll rise. Front hip is back. Good. And reach. Warrior two. Front knee tracks over behind the knee, tracking towards the pinky toe. Inhale, exhale. Good. So in living it well, you also want to celebrate the good things. So what is going right? What is going well for you today? On this first day of the rest of your life. Inhale, exhale, finding the warrior two. Going into that extended triangle, extended angle here, pressing back, lengthening. Good. I'm going to take my hand to the high block. I'm going to open up that chest to the side. Good. Now that you've got the support of the high block, notice if you can take that foot more forward, taking that block more forward, can that knee bend a little bit more over? Good. And open up. Maybe arm comes long. Good. So blocks are not a crutch. They can really, really help you get deeper into a pose when you're ready. Good. And then from here, looking down at the front foot, I'm going to lengthen that front leg. Good. Front hip is back. And I've got my triangle from here. And now when you're ready, maybe you can release from that block, finding your triangle. Looking down at the front foot, putting a bend in that front knee. Hands are going to come down. Swivel up the back foot. Front foot steps back. You choose. Take or skip a flow. And from the downward facing dog, take a moment, catching the breath. And from that down dog, inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, pressing through the feet and the legs, nice long back. Exhale, and we'll bend and bow. Pressing through the feet and the legs. You're gonna rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding your breath, a mountain, and intention. Let's come into a standing balance. We're gonna do a tree balance here. And I'm also gonna give you a figure 4 option to take with us today. So going from easiest to hardest and knowing you can always come to a piece of furniture or your wall in case you need it. I'm gonna start with my left leg, being supported leg first. So hip, knee, and toe track forward. Good. From the right hip, you can turn out and kickstand. You can come to the calf or the shin. You can come to the thigh, even if you have to hold it there. Don't press your foot on your knee joint. Knees won't like it. So this is an option. You can also come here. Okay, so this is one figure 4 option. The harder option is to have a seat with that. So you find your option that feels good to you. Maybe both feet need to be in the floor, and there is nothing wrong with that. Breathe. Try to look at something that's not moving, something that's not moving. And when you're ready, good, we'll press up and carefully undo wherever you went. Shake out that supporting leg. Let's take that to the other side. So sides are different, hips are different. So be mindful what you did just now might not be what's possible for you on this side, but I'll go through all those options again. So right leg, hip, knee, and toe track forward from the left hip. Maybe it's kickstand. Maybe it's the thigh, or that's the shin. This is the thigh. Maybe you can have it there on your own. Maybe you just hold it there. Maybe you come across figure four variation. Maybe you have a seat. Find yours. And arms can really be anywhere that's appropriate for you to go. They don't always have to be at prayer. You can grow some branches in your tree. Some trees are short. Sometimes they're kind of little knotty and gnarly. Some have many branches. Some are just sticks. You just never know. And when you're ready, we'll gently come out of there and shake out that supporting leg. Let's flow down to the floor. So from the top of the mat, big inhale. Exhale, we'll fold and bow. Good. Lift and lengthen halfway, pressing through the leg. Exhale, we'll bow. From here, plating the hand. Step or hop back to plank. You choose, take or skip the last flow of this class. And once you've made it back to your down dog, we'll drop those knees, find a child's pose, a comfy child's pose that feels good to you. Knees together as wide as mat or somewhere in between. Arms can be long in front of you, or hands back by the ankles. You choose what's best. And when we're ready, knowing you can stay here as long as you need, hands under the shoulders, and we'll press ourselves up. Good. We're going to come onto our backs now. So if there's anything that you're going to use for your Shavasana relaxation, can I have those in close proximity to you so they're there for you to grab? And once you come onto your back, just readjust any clothing that may need to readjust, maybe bringing knees into the chest, grabbing behind the knees, yourself a nice low back stretch, maybe a little rock, maybe a little rolling of the ankles and feet, maybe in the other direction. Good. And then from here, we're going to come to a bridge, So rolling the shoulders back. Good. Let's do robot bridge. We haven't done that in a while. Let's do robot bridge. So you want your shoulders and the back of the arms and the elbows to be on the floor, and your palms are going to face each other. Make sure that the feet are not too close or too far away from the glutes, and hips, knees, and toes are tracking in this alignment. Big inhale. Exhale as you press into the feet. Press into those arms and elbows. Lift up through the chest, finding that bridge. And then we'll lower that back down. Now, as for me, I'm going to do this bridge again, and you're free to follow me. If there's a different bridge in your practice that you would rather do besides robot bridge, please feel free to do that. That might be a full back bend, a one leg bridge, on the toes, on the heels, ankle bind bridge, hand bind bridge, whatever bridge that is calling your name, feel free to go there. Otherwise, if you're following me, rolling the shoulders back, good, pressing into the feet, and the arms and shoulders in a lift, lifting up through the chest. Now, whatever bridge you're choosing, be mindful of a couple things. Unless you're in full bridge or back bend and your head is not touching the ground, head and neck do not turn right or left. It stays center. And your hips, knees, and toes are always tracking in the same direction, which is parallel, hip width apart. They don't go out wider. They don't turn out or turn in, collapse in, or anything like that. So practice smart. And then based on the bridge you chose, it's going to determine how you come out. And carefully come out of the bridge. And then we'll take the knees into the chest. And we'll rock, side to side. Let's come into a final supine twist here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my blanket that I'm going to use as a pillow right behind my head. Arms out to the side. Knees in a tabletop position. Good. I'm just going to let those knees come over to the right as I keep my left shoulder down, looking to the left. Breathe and expand. And once ready, head back to center, one leg at a time, or using your abdominals to bring you back in. We'll take the knees over towards the left. Good. Keeping the right shoulder down, looking to the right. Breathing and expanding. And head back to center, one leg at a time, or using your abdominals to bring them back in. Bringing the knees in and set up however you need to set up for your Shavasana. I'm going to encourage you not to skip your Shavasana. This is the essence of a yoga practice, and it is healthy to learn to be with yourself for a few short moments. We're not going to be here forever. I'm going to encourage you to be here with yourself for a few. Good. And then whenever you're ready, get out any little wiggles, make yourself about 10% more comfortable. And I'll leave you here for a few short moments. I'll call you back. And taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness. Very gently invite movement of the fingers and the toes. Maybe head and neck can sway slightly, slowly, side to side. And from here, choose if you'd like to be here longer in stillness, or you can choose to take knees into the chest, removing any props out of the way you may have used, or a nice full body stretch, reaching from fingertips to the toes. And whenever you're ready, bending in both knees, rolling over to the right or left side, taking all the time that you need here. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat where we started our practice. Noticing how you feel. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale and reach. As you bring the hands together and bring them down, touch the thumbs to the forehead for good and true thoughts, to the lips for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving heart. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you remember, today is a new day. It's the first day of the rest of your life. Live it well. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.